For the best experience, please use headphones. Calling all adventurers. I repeat, calling all adventurers. We've got a notice and an ad today. For the notice, all adventurers and travellers passing by Brindlewick, please note that the bridge into town has collapsed. It may be worth going around town instead of through, but if you've got the skills to help them out, it may be worth doing so to allow business to proceed as normal. Also, check to make sure it broke from natural means while you're there. Can never be too careful. For the ad, Beast Buy Pet Care, providing supplies, grooming, training and board for all manner of magical creatures, be it dog, dragon or demonic entity. If you're going somewhere you don't want your familiar to follow, leave them in our capable, armoured hands. With those done, shall we return to our story? Yes, let's. Our quiet cabal sat in the dingy back room, each contemplating everything we'd discussed. Gods and ancient civilizations, a criminal organization and a powerful mastermind pulling strings from the shadows. What linked them all together?
Ah, look at the time. It's getting late, so we should depart. Are you ready?
Makana nodded and stood up. Friendly just followed whatever she was doing.
Stay out of sight, you three. We can't afford to make any mistakes this far into the game.
One close call is enough for me. I'm keeping my head down for the foreseeable future.
I shall endeavour to avoid undue complications.
I'll see you two here after sundown tomorrow evening. Please make sure you're ready to go by then.
We'll be ready.
Harrington tipped an imaginary hat and gathered his belongings before leaving with a cloaked Makana and Friendly in tow. There was a few moments of silence as we relaxed a little. We had been fronting a bit, pretending we had it together more than we really did.
What a day.
We learned a lot.
I can't believe I'm saying this again, but we still don't know enough.
Hella clearly wants the books for what's inside them, but there's no way he can learn from one, even if he does get his grubby little hands on them.
We managed to learn something from one, even without Friendly. These repositories hold more than just words. Was he looking for Monos this whole time?
Well, Friendly spoke of a machine that offers a tremendous power from another book. There's more than just gods in those things. Only the ancients know what else is hidden away. No one alive can even read them. He must just be shooting arrows into the dark in a bid to discover something interesting.
Pure conjecture, unfortunately.
It's literally all we've got.
Okay, you hungry?
Starving.
I'm gonna head out and grab some food.
I'll come with.
No, thank you. On your last outing, you caused a ruckus and got into a fight with 3 gang members. I need 10 minutes of peace to grab some food without an alleyway scuffle or a world-changing discovery.
Pure character assassination, unfortunately.
Is it? Stay, and try not to get into any trouble while you're alone for a bit. I honestly don't know how you manage it.
I knew how I managed it. The real reason my luck was so bizarre. My own strange power. I decided to keep it to myself and had planned to indefinitely. But plans change. Val slung her cloak over her shoulders and stepped through the door out into the street, disappearing from sight. I was alone. The room was quiet. I leant back in my chair, tipping its front legs off the ground and resting my feet up on the chair across from me. I closed my eyes, and my head lolled backward as I took a deep breath. Finally, some quiet for a moment.
Hello again, pretty boy.
And there it went. My eyes shot open and my head tilted back down. Before me stood the Cambion from the alleyway, hands on hips inspecting the room. How had I not heard her come in? Had I fallen asleep for a moment?
I was wondering if they were ever going to leave. Nice place you got here.
What are you doing here? How did you find me?
Oh, I was lying when I said I was leaving you alone. I kept watching. I saw you handle those Rosefist thugs, though I wouldn't have let them live. Once you got here, I backed off to report my findings for a bit.
How much did she see? I tried to stay calm while she ran her fingers through the dust on a nearby shelf.
Lots of strange happenings in this little shop. A noble, a clockwork man, and a missing student as visitors.
That was not ideal. She must have only watched the comings and goings through the door, so she hadn't seen Monos, but what she had seen was still too much. You shouldn't be here.
I can't leave.
The door's right there. The handle's a bit tricky, so just rattle it a bit and you'll get there.
Not until I've talked to you.
What about? She pulled the seat out from under my feet and sat down across from me. The reflection of the soft lamplight glimmered in her eyes and accented her jawline and collarbones. Her fingers drummed on the table as she pretended to find the words. I felt a slight tightening in my chest and found it increasingly difficult to avert my gaze. I had thought she was pretty in the alleyway, but here, in the quiet, without my hackles raised, things were different. I knew she was doing it on purpose, and she knew it was having the desired effect.
I've come with a proposition.
Which is?
My employer was intrigued to learn about your interest in the Rosefists, and he wishes to extend an offer to you and yours.
I have questions before I even hear out the proposition.
Ask away.
Who are you? Who's your employer?
My name is not something I hand out to just anyone. People call me Lady Tombstone.
LT, huh?
It's a work thing. My boss is known as the Sinner.
Spooky. He a religious type?
I've never asked. Not my place. We belong to a group known as the Dark Sun.
Sounds so serious.
It is. Life or death, in fact. Some would consider us a rival faction against the Rosefists, but we are more of a grassroots organization. They control much of the city, but we manage to keep them out of the docks.
You're a gang.
More like freedom fighters. The guards aren't doing anything to stop the Rosefists pushing in on our community, so we took it upon ourselves to right some wrongs. Someone needs to fight our corner. Why not us?
Do you do criminal stuff?
Criminal stuff?
Hurt people who don't deserve it. Kill, steal, break laws and such.
Certainly not if we can help it. That said, I didn't get the moniker Lady Tombstone for shrewd negotiating.
She had killed before, and for a nickname like that, she'd probably killed a number of people. I didn't think a group who allowed that would align best with our interests. And what is Mr. Sinner's proposition?
The Sinner has information on Ulysses Hellar that may be of interest to you. He says it's substantial, and if he says so, it is.
What is it?
He is willing to share the information, provided you align yourselves with us in rooting out the Rosefists.
You want us to jump into a literal gang war for some information that, let's be honest, I have no real reason to believe is worth it.
It's good information.
I couldn't help but feel like a lamb, dragged out into an open field to lure a griffin. Was she just there to get us as cannon fodder against her own enemies? Sure. Why us? There has to be 100 others you could ask.
The Sinner doesn't have leveraging information for them, but he has some for you. Additionally, you seem well connected and informed, yet you're a relative unknown. Not to mention, you're wily enough that you're butting heads with one of the most powerful men in the Western world, and you're still alive.
Her eyes grew dark as a wicked smile crept across her lips.
You're perfect.
There's a kebab place around the corner. I didn't know what you wanted, so I just got...
Val entered the back room, arms filled with a large parchment bag, and came to a slow stop when she saw the guest. She knew instantly it was the same woman from the alleyway.
What's she doing here?
I think she's just leaving.
Look, I can't leave.
Sure you can. You just have to keep trying. Did you tell her about the handle?
I'm familiar with the handle. Can we focus?
Things are going fine with us so far. I don't think we need to get involved in turf wars and street fights. But we'll keep your boss's offer in our back pocket, and if we've nothing else, we'll consider it. The Cambion returned to her tense, guarded self and stood back up.
Perhaps you don't yet know what you're getting into. It's clear you aren't familiar with the machinations of this city, but you'll learn soon enough. When you're ready to talk, leave a candle on your street-facing window, and I'll come by to discuss terms.
She gave a shallow bow and turned to leave, but Val blocked her exit. My partner stared up at the Cambion, who stood a half head taller than her before slowly stepping aside.
What was that about?
Offered us information on Hela if we join her gang, the Dark Sun, in the war against the Rosefists.
That seems like a lot of work. What about her? Think she'll be a problem?
Hard to say, but it doesn't feel like it.
Well, I suppose it doesn't hurt to have another avenue to explore if worst comes to worst. Anyway, I got food.
Val placed the paper bag on the table and retrieved its contents, placing paper-wrapped parcels in front of me.
I got chicken for myself, and I didn't know what you wanted, so I just bought one of everything else. A little tasting platter, just for you.
Oh, thank you kindly. So what's next?
We'll stay here tonight. Visit the tailor tomorrow morning to get measured. Then we need to inspect that mark on your wrist.
I averted my gaze at the mention of the mark.
No, I haven't forgotten about that. Finally, we should dig into this Dark Sun group a little. Do you know much about them?
I think they operate out of the Dock District, run by some mysterious fella named the Sinner.
Goodness. So serious.
That's what I said. You never hear of a criminal mastermind called Richard or something, do you? Anyway, she said the info was really good, but I don't know about taking on all that for it. Not until we've exhausted every other avenue.
I concur wholeheartedly. Let's finish up, get some sleep, and get to work.
We chatted a little longer while finishing the meal. I nearly blacked out immediately after laying on my bedroll. It had been another long day. But nothing soothes the pains of a dangerous day like a full belly and a deep sleep. The following morning, just past first light, we found ourselves outside Morn's tailor shop. It was a small building that looked more like a storehouse than a shop. Upon entering, we were greeted by several mannequins displaying concept clothes, which gave us a strong idea of Morn's substantial abilities. My own mother has a penchant for making clothes. Her creations are simple but robust, designed to last, with little in the way of unnecessary embellishment. Morn's works were stitched from a lifetime of passion and focus for this single art. Hand-stitched corsets, doublets, and elaborate dresses near shining from their excellence. The titular Morn wasn't standing behind the counter. Instead, she was perched on a high-backed chair on the far side of her workshop, seemingly entranced by several floating needles synchronously guided through the air by invisible hands. For a few moments, we watched a master at work. Meticulously and precisely, 2 separate items took shape on the table in front of her. A handful of needles decorated the cuffs of a jacket with embroidery at a speed that made me panic. Simultaneously, sleeves of a dress were seamlessly stitched to a bodice. It hadn't occurred to me that magic could be used in that way.
Hello, Morn? We'd like to talk to you about getting some clothing made.
Slowly, the needles came to a stop as Morn let her concentration break. She turned her attention to us.
Ah, welcome.
She beamed at us both, marched over and flung her arms wide to embrace us in a giant hug.
Oh, okay.
She too was a few inches taller than me, which made for an odd embrace as Val and I were dragged in.
Mercenaries, yes? Adventurers. What are you hunting for?
Outfits fit for the cotillion. You've come very highly recommended by Lord Harrington Mulbrand. He says you can outfit us in time.
By the bones, that's quite the rush order. The cotillion is this evening, yes? I can do it, but it will cost. I like Mulbrand, he has good taste, but I cannot do his friends any favors for free. Business is business, you understand.
He says he will cover it in full, whatever is needed. You accept writ of credit?
Ah, my blood stings. Let us begin right away and get you out of these rags.
We spent the next hour going over outfits, taking and retaking measurements. I was somewhere at the back of the carriage for all this, as I didn't know much about fancy clothing. I would trust in whatever they recommended for me. I could sew up a ripped shirt, but I couldn't even tell you what a plaited braid stitch was or what was even the fashion at the time. I only knew that I was not interested in anything skin-tight and no ruffles.
You need a new shirt. I see you've decorated your current one with a splash of color, but it doesn't do much for your presentation.
I glanced down at my blood-stained clothing. It had barely been a week, and it was already ruined.
Yeah, I seem to keep spoiling them. Any advice?
Stop getting injured. Otherwise, wear black or red instead. Blood and grime don't show up nearly as much.
Good idea.
Come back before sundown. I'll have your clothes ready.
We departed the store and made for the High Street. I swung by a general clothier's and purchased 3 black long-sleeved shirts with buttoned chests. I switched into one and dumped the old shirt in a street-side bin.
Orc sizing, slightly large.
It felt nice to be back in clean clothes. Being dirty is something of a sensory nightmare for me, and despite everything I've been through, I still don't like it.
Okay, now you're freshened up. Let's get that wrist appraised.
I'm not saying I don't want to get the thing checked, but do we need to do it right now? Aren't there more pressing matters?
It's of paramount importance to everything else. That thing is a magic weapon. We need to know exactly what it does and make sure it's not cursed. Additionally, we cannot bring weapons inside the cotillion. As a mage, I will have to wear a suppression band provided by security to prevent me from casting. You won't be able to bring your blades, but we need to know if the black dog will be picked up by them if they search you for it.
A suppression band? The thing's used for arresting criminal mages. Isn't that a bit much for a guest of royalty?
This one will be fancier than those enchanted shackles, but yes, the idea is the same. The Royal Guard will take no chances. I'm not Grandmaster Sur or Ayla Saran. I don't have the social standing to be permitted entry without one.
Fair play. Okay, let's go.
We continued through the streets, passing fancy shops and beggars in equal measure. There was something about cities that confused me. Such a concentration of wealth, yet more poor individuals than anywhere else in the kingdom. People do not take care of each other there like they do in small villages like mine. In the village, the elderly watch the children while adults work their crafts to provide necessities to all. Children are not expected to do anything but the occasional chore, learn, grow, and have fun, so they can become rounded adults. Everyone helps each other. Everyone gets what they need. If it can be done on a small scale, it can be done on a big scale. You just up the numbers in every area. But there seemed to be an imbalance. I saw children wandering the streets, adults busily storming about, but no elderly. Were they being segregated somewhere? I doubted they were all dead. After a short walk, we reached a shop sat on a street corner, its deep blue facade standing out amid the earthen tones of its neighbours. Brass-framed windows curved outward in gentle arches, their glass faintly tinted to shimmer with shifting hues when the light struck them just so.
I've been here a few times. She makes most of her money as a scryer, searching for lost items and such. But she's also very skilled in crystallomancy, onomancy, and, well, if it's got the mancy suffix and is used to find stuff, she can do it. Also, she's got a very keen eye for curses. If that thing has a malediction, she'll find it.
I looked up at the sign proudly bearing the shop's name above a picture of a kneeling statue holding a scrying bowl next to its head.
A shoulder to scry on. That's what this place is called. Val, are you sure about this?
Yes, not to worry. Come on.
I followed Val as she scurried inside. The air was heavily perfumed, filled with mingling scents of incense and candle wax. I find incense can easily be overwhelming, but the shopkeeper was using just the right amount. Shelves lined walls laden with glass spheres on metal bases of various designs, polished stones and bone dice. Silken curtains in muted blue and violet also adorned the walls, placed carefully to make the room feel warm but not small. At the centre was the statue from the sign outside, a human-sized kneeling form holding a scrying bowl on its shoulder that sat around hip height to me. An adjustable brass arm connected a large focal lens to the edge of the bowl. If I played this well and let her only examine the mark, I could still get away with keeping some key aspects about myself to myself. The statue was flanked by a dainty half-elf woman with flowing locks of golden hair and green eyes, who I assumed was the proprietress, and a human noble stood with his hands covering his face like he'd heard bad news.
What you seek lays hidden behind a dresser in your foyer.
I could have sworn I checked there.
Well, check again, and be thorough. I see them clear as day in the waters.
I trust you. You've not steered me wrong yet.
Indeed, but I must ask you be more careful with your keys from now on. This is the 3rd time this week.
I know. I'm buying a replacement key hook today, I promise. Thank you so much.
The noble dropped a small stack of coins into the proprietress's cupped hand, tipped his hat, and hurried out of the building. Once he'd left, the half-elf took a deep breath of frustration before setting eyes on the pair of us. Seeing Valuin, she smiled and walked over with arms wide.
Valuin and Emmaris. If it's been a day, it's been a year.
They embraced.
Ara Pernan. It's definitely been at least a year. How are you, my dear?
I'm well, thank you. What brings you by? Not just here to see me, I'll bet.
I was going to come see you regardless, but I do have need of your skills. I need something peculiar appraised.
Well, don't keep me in suspense. Let the dog see the rabbit.
Val nodded to me. I stepped forward, removed my coat, rolled up my shirt sleeve, and presented my wrist to Ara. Her eyebrows raised in mild surprise before lowering in curiosity. She took my forearm and pulled it closer. Her hands were warm and soft, but her grip was quite strong.
Is it a curse?
That's what we're trying to find out. My partner here picked it up off a corpse without any checks or due process.
It?
Show her.
I pulled my hand clear from her and focused on the mark. The blade appeared in my grip, dark as midnight and sharp as a razor. Not so much as a chip in it, despite what it had been through.
My, oh my. What in the world is that?
It had a tag on it when I picked it up that said it was the Black Dog.
From folklore? Like Reeves or Bloodstained Jack?
I shuddered at the thought of Reeves. They give me the freaks like nothing else. There had been multiple documented encounters with them spanning years, unlike Bloodstained Jack or the Black Dog. Unless you count rumours and hearsay as documented.
A fitting namesake. It was wielded by an extremely competent combatant. She summoned the blade from a tattoo of a dog on her arm. When she died, the tattoo disappeared and the tag appeared.
I've never seen a blade of this make. It looks like volcanic glass, but I can feel it's enchanted to the sky and back.
She held the blade to take it from me, and I released my grip. The tip of the dog sunk into the wooden planks in the floor as the weight of it quickly overwhelmed her.
Okay, you hang on to that, and let's get it over to the bowl. Time to see what we're working with.
I retrieved the sword from the floorboard, and Ara led me by the wrist over to the bowl. She gestured for me to hold the weapon over it. I did so, while she began dropping various ingredients into the bowl. Oil from a flask, a twig from the dead branch of a tree I didn't recognize, shavings from a stick of gold.
What kind of enchantments can we expect on this thing?
It's hard to say at a glance, but the weight of it's clearly an enchantment. It's a blade, so we can take some guesses that they'd be martial enchantments most likely. Magics that help with your combat prowess.
I have been angrier lately. More reckless and vicious, a bit less controlled than usual. Could there be ones that increase aggression?
Oh, certainly.
A perplexing battle of emotions took hold of me for a moment. I didn't like the idea that something had had control over my senses, in battle or otherwise. But I also felt a bit of relief that the changes I'd been experiencing might not have been my fault. I watched the water beneath my extended arm begin to move, shift, and rotate until it became a whirlpool. A gentle breeze swirled through the room with it. Inky patterns formed between dancing lights in the water that seemed to grow deeper with every passing second. Ara adjusted the large lens. What an incredible sight.
Oh yes, there it is.
Dogs and rabbits, Ara?
Yes, right. I'm seeing a veritable bounty of enchantments here. Are you just interested in the big ones or the whole list?
The list, please. I don't know anything about enchanting. At best, I can tell when something has a simple charm on it.
First of all, no curses, so rest easy. You won't be turning into a werewolf anytime soon.
Okay, That was a big relief.
Let me explain. Enchantments fall into 3 tiers depending on their power. Minor, major, and greater. The higher the tier, the more you'll feel its effects. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
You have a couple that I can see right away. There is a conditional major tier weight charm, which is why it's so heavy to anyone but you.
That would go into explaining why the nun's swings were so heavy in the church.
Ah, see that constellation of lights in the water? That is a major tier hidden charm, which is how it becomes a tattoo. It also makes it undetectable while on your wrist.
Understandable for a high-class assassin to have that.
There's a clause in that charm that stops the enchantments from working when the sword is in tattoo form. Oh, we've got a minor tier pain absorption charm. While the sword is out, your pain is numbed by quite a bit.
That explained why I felt better holding the blade after being wounded by mutated Tranter back in the Shallowlands.
Yes, this is a big one. You've got a greater strength charm and a major speed charm in here. That's a massive amount of power.
It was no wonder I nearly lost against the nun. But this was a dangerous combination, and I'd seen its effects. These enchantments allowed you to fight harder and ignore pain, but there was nothing here about preventing damage or healing. Of course the sister died of blood loss. She might not have even known how much pain or damage she was suffering from. This weapon allows death to creep up on you while you're too busy fighting.
Anything else? Anything that affects emotions?
She searched for a moment before looking back up at me with an anxious smile.
There isn't?
I'm sorry.
My heart sank. It was all me. That hurt to hear. I dispersed the sword and pulled my hand away.
Okay. Thank you for your time. We learned what we needed, so let's go.
Val placed a stack of coins onto a table and turned to follow me as I began to leave.
Thank you, Ara. I'm in the city for a while. We'll grab lunch.
I approached the doorway when...
Wait a minute. What's this?
I stopped in my tracks.
What's wrong?
When he dismissed the sword, the water briefly searched his hand. There's something in there.
I doubt that. Let's go.
No, I want to hear this.
There is a curse.
Wait, what?
But it's not in the sword. It's in him.
Damn. She saw it. They were about to find out.
What are you talking about? Hey, what is she talking about?
I already know about that. Don't worry, it's nothing.
It's not nothing.
What do you mean you know about it? What is it? Explain yourself.
Come here. I want to take a look.
I spun on my heels to face them. I couldn't be stubborn here. Now that Val knew, she deserved the details. She had always deserved them, but I'd been selfish and cagey. I walked back over to the bowl and held my clenched fist over it while Ara adjusted the lens arm to see into the water. She reapplied the same ingredients from before, but this time she took a small needle and gestured for my finger. I obliged, and she stuck me, letting a large droplet fall from my digit. I watched wisps of sanguine smoke disperse throughout the bowl. The water turned a deep red. Ara looked through the lens.
You have a bloodline curse.
How old?
Generations by the looks of it. Seems like your great-great-grandpapa upset someone powerful. And petty.
This was also an opportunity for me to learn more, so I lent into it.
My dad would bring it up often. He'd call it the family curse, but it only affected him and me. Said he inherited it from his father and his father before him, so on, so on.
What are its terms?
He said it's a...
Not from you, Mr. Secrets. From the professional.
That's fair. I don't even really know how curses work.
It's both extraordinarily thorough and extraordinarily mean. Magic is a language, and a curse is precise wording that impacts probability. Want to turn someone into a goat? You increase the probability of that occurring spontaneously in the next 10 seconds to 100%. Suddenly, you've got an angry goat.
Right. What's his goat?
It's broad. This would have taken years of work to craft, and it accounts for so many things. From what I can see, the curse impacts the probability of 2 factors: death and injury. The chances of him being injured have been exponentially multiplied, but the chances of him dying have been reduced to nearly 0.
He's been cursed with perpetual bad luck.
Specifically, a bad luck that causes him as much pain as possible without letting him die. Near 0 is an oversimplification, as nothing can stop death forever, but yes, lots of suffering.
Life is hard and death is easy. I can't say I've suffered any more than anyone else.
Oh, there's something else in here too.
Oh, stars, what?
An increased propensity for destruction and causing pain in others.
This is insane.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
The term is inconclusive. It's been worded badly, so I don't think the effect works as intended. It's a clause originally, but badly, designed to ensure that there's an area of effect around him that makes whatever bad situation he's in worse.
That is kind of the case sometimes, but I have some degree of control around it. I seem to have an unnatural affinity for physically hurting others.
You're like a walking bomb. This is a huge liability.
Hey, careful throwing that word around.
Don't get me started on the fact you kept this from me.
I feel I should clear some things up about this. The curse only affects him, Val. Your luck hasn't really changed.
My luck has changed, because it's inextricably linked to his. If something goes wrong for him, it goes wrong for me.
Are you blind? Things have been going wrong, but the curse can be countered by being careful. Plan thoroughly, train extensively, and act decisively. It helps to curb a lot of the punch by removing chance from my actions.
But you get a gut shot with an arrow, you fall through a roof 2 stories up, you meet the one assassin in the entire forest. In fact, every time I take my eyes off you, some other previously inexplicable occurrence threatens to kill you or maim you. You attract trouble like nothing I've ever seen.
If you're going to criticize me, know this feels like low-hanging fruit.
Yet my argument is fed heartily all the same. You're a walking lodestone for trouble.
How the tables turn.
We've still accomplished a lot. In fact, we're making some pretty incredible progress.
Oh, I confess, we have done surprisingly well for ourselves in getting caught in the middle of a nation-spanning conspiracy with some of the most dangerous people in the realm. I'm beginning to think the only reason we are moving so fast is thanks to your curse putting us on the direct path toward more struggle. This explains the train incident. It's all you.
It's not all me. I don't make those things happen. They were always happening. We just happened to be where they were happening.
He is correct, Valuin. Trouble can manifest everywhere. There's a reason mercs exist, after all. There's always a battle to be fought or a train to be saved. All his curse has done is tip the direction a little, pushed you into the path of things that someone was always going to have to deal with.
That's easy for you to say, Ara. You don't travel with him.
So what? We just gonna stop? Let someone else pick up in our place? Split up and never speak again?
No. We're going to keep going because we have to. Someone has to stop whatever is going on, and you're still one of the only people I trust. Despite the fact you lied to me.
I didn't lie.
A lie of omission is still a lie. You're a dick for keeping this from me. But despite that, I've seen you put everything on the line to save pretty much anyone who needs it. You're kind and motivated, and I'm not really willing to give that up.
I willed myself to just out and say it. Say the quiet part. To get it out and confess. It was the truth. And no truth ever does as much harm to a person as being lied to.
I didn't tell you because I was worried you'd think me a burden. I like being a merc. No, that's not it. I don't care about a license or money. I like saving people, and I like doing good. I like being an adventurer, and I'll settle for being a mercenary, so long as I can keep helping. I'm sorry that I lied to you.
Well, that's that then. Now we can get back to work.
I put my coat back on.
This was heavy, but already such healing.
Shut it, you.
We'll do lunch and chat about it later.
We turned back toward the door and left the building. Onward toward the next task with a lot to think about on the walk. I know. I should have come forward the day I agreed to work with Val long term, but what you have to understand is that I didn't want to. Jokes aside, it was bad of me to withhold something as serious as the curse. But what is a person, if not a miserable little pile of secrets? It's not as if Val didn't have some of her own that would eventually come to light. If you're putting your life in someone's hands, it's important that you are both on the level. Tomorrow is too late, so weigh the value of your mystery. For now, the time to rest is upon us. I'd advise waking up extra early tomorrow and running another check on all your gear. Can't afford to make mistakes. Rest well, adventurers, and good hunting.
Calling All Adventurers is a production of the Tower Array, written and directed by Gray Smith. The host is played by Gray Smith. Valuin Emmaris is played by Ivy Smith.
Harrington Mulbrand is played by Carl Bonebright. Makana Zora is played by Jodie Leigh. Friendly is played by Adam McLaughlin. Pernan is played by Hannah Pratt. Morn is played by Ioana Adăscăliței. Lady Tombstone is played by Caitlin Carlett.
You can find out more about the show at thetowerarray.com.